Welcome to Reporter 247 channel. Vladimir Putin has taken the side of his top military officials in a dispute with the mercenary warlord Yevgeny Prigozhin. He calling for Russia's volunteer detachments involved in the conflict in Ukraine to be placed under the direct control of the defense ministry. This decision undermines Prigozhin, who has used the Wagner Group's involvement in capturing Bakhmut to elevate his public profile in Russia and criticize Putin's generals while promoting himself. Speaking to pro-war bloggers, Putin expressed support for Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu's initiative to require mercenary groups to sign contracts with the ministry, a move that Prigozhin has refused to comply with. Putin emphasized the necessity of this step, aligning with common sense, established practice, and the law. Earlier, Shoigu ordered all volunteer detachments to sign contracts with the defense ministry by the end of the month, aiming to integrate Wagner into the army and curb Prigozhin's influence. In response, Prigozhin criticized Shoigu for his alleged mismanagement of military formations and stated that Wagner would not sign any contracts with him. He further rebuked Putin, stating that none of the Wagner fighters would agree to sign contracts, implying that a compromise would need to be reached. The feud between Prigozhin and the military escalated when a Russian commander accused Wagner of kidnapping and torturing soldiers. Putin's intervention is seen as a significant boost for Shoigu, a longtime ally of the president who has faced political pressure due to Russia's faltering efforts in Ukraine. It also places Prigozhin in a precarious position, marking his most vulnerable moment since the invasion began. Experts suggest that Putin likely made the decision to limit Wagner's influence in Ukraine several months ago, but the capture of Bakhmut delayed its implementation. Prigozhin previously announced that his troops had mostly withdrawn from Bakhmut after suffering heavy casualties. Prigozhin's exclusion from Ukraine sidelines a prominent figure in Russia's war efforts. Through active use of social media, he has cultivated a populist and anti-elite persona that resonated with discontented Russians during the invasion. His public standing peaked as Wagner gradually captured Bakhmut, representing a tangible military victory for Moscow. Despite his ongoing publicity tour, doubts remain as to whether Prigozhin can maintain his influence through this approach alone. Some believe that Prigozhin's current predicament has pushed him into a corner, prompting him to consider alternative strategies to achieve his goals. Prigozhin continues to publicly criticize Russia's military leadership. Speaking in the Ulanovska region, he contradicted Putin's earlier claim that Ukraine's counteroffensive had failed on all fronts. Prigozhin argued that Ukraine was fighting correctly and accused Moscow of not doing enough to counter the adversary. However, some caution against prematurely predicting Prigozhin's downfall. While Shoigu currently holds the upper hand, Prigozhin may be called upon again if Ukraine's counteroffensive fails. This scenario aligns with Putin's tendency to play different factions against one another. Additionally, Putin hinted that some of Prigozhin's criticism of the military was justified, suggesting that certain individuals outside the mainstream had proven effective and useful during the operation. Prigozhin's future prospects may depend on the success or failure of Ukraine's counteroffensive. Some argue that he is awaiting an opportunity to demonstrate the value of his abilities and skills, hoping that the Russian army will lose territory without his involvement, prompting Putin or Shoigu to seek his assistance. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next videos. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with the latest news. Goodbye.